Hi everyone, welcome back to Kim Possible What's the Switch. Apologies for, semi-abrupt, breaks between videos, like breaking points between videos, in this LP, because I don't know what is gonna happen in the levels, so I'm just kind of playing. And I like them to be a, certain range of length, so this is, this is what you get. But I don't think anybody really cares. I'm definitely a person who enjoys clean beginnings and ends, or cliffhangers. If it's not gonna be like, okay, in each episode we do, like, a certain number of things, beginning with the beginning of one and ending with the end of one. Or there's like a good juicy cliffhanger. And yes, I just went directly into the Steam. For some reason I thought it might propel me upward. Not the case, however. Still getting used to all of the, combat and all the, different combinations of buttons and things, and just really, really trying to become Kim Possible, Speaking of which, I forgot to say in the last one, I said that I wasn't, like, the hugest Kim Possible buff when I was a kid. I watched plenty of it, but I wouldn't have really, counted myself as a fan, necessarily. Part of that probably came from... Or actually, no, I was gonna say part of that probably came from, like, not wanting to be seen as liking a girl show, but for one thing, I don't really think Kim Possible was ever super, like, coded as a girl show, quote-unquote, as far as I'm aware. I think a lot of guys that I knew liked it. And also, I liked plenty of things that were stereotypical girl things at the time, or, like, that I got made fun of because they're girl things, and, like, I don't know, it didn't really bother me. I liked My Life as a Teenage Robot. That was one that, at least one person in elementary school gave me shit for at one point. But joke's on them, because that show is fucking cool. Yeah, this is what the gum does. They just kind of mentioned the gum at the beginning, and then I was like, I didn't know what I was in for there, but you can stick the boys. So yeah, I don't really have a whole bunch to say about this. It's, kind of, standard platforming stuff, but we're really getting into the, meat and potatoes of things here. In terms of, I assume this is what I can expect most of the levels to, be like. The first one was kind of, cut and dry, just one KP segment and one Shego segment, but here there's a lot of trade-off, and I don't know, the whole thing feels it's a lot longer, a lot more involved, more fast-paced, and I imagine that that's going to only increase over the course of the game.
Let me check. Got it. There's a control room inside. If you send Rufus in, I bet he could turn the power on.
You're the best.
Thanks for the help, Wade JPEG. So yeah, you can play as Rufus in a few parts of this game, apparently. It took me a little while to really figure out what to do. I thought that you could, like, jump or go over the little poip there, but no, you can't do that. You have to go around, so apologies for that. I didn't really edit anything out of this video. I do make a lot of mistakes, especially a little bit later. Like, now that we're actually getting into the part of the game where you could actually feasibly be killed. Only if you suck at it, but it is my first time playing through it, so I don't really feel that bad about it. Also, this game was made by A2M, which someone in the comments of the last one pointed out were the makers of the Ed, Edd n Eddy game for, like, the PS2. And I actually recognize that name. And, yeah, of course I fuck it up all the way and have to go all the way back to the beginning because I'm awesome. I actually recognize that name, but I can't think of what games I've played that they made. But I definitely recognize the logo when I loaded this up for the first time, so I'll have to look into that. I wonder how many fucking times the people who regularly watch my Let's Play videos have heard this sound. Assuming you could hear that, because this mic gets pretty good noise cancellation, but it always picks that shit up. And that's the sound of me dropping a pen. And I know I've explained this before, but in case you don't know and are wondering what is making that sound all the time, why I might be sometimes leaning over like this to pick something up, that is because I am an incredibly antsy person who always needs something to do with my hands. So usually when I am recording, I am holding a pen in my hand and I'm flicking it around like this. Don't know why I'm demonstrating in front of a microphone like you can see what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm just kind of flipping it around, twirling it in my fingers, what have you, clicking the... I try not to do too much clicking of the thing, because you can probably hear that, and that might get annoying, but... yeah. I really like playing as Shego. I mean, it's, like, functionally no different, really, than playing as Kim, but it's pretty fun. And I enjoy these bits here. I was not to say that I like didn't suck or like knew what I was doing all the time or whatever, but I was really like getting into it here. I remember when it switched to this, and I was like, oh, this is like something a little different from what's been going on so far. I mean, it's, like, very straightforward and whatnot, but I don't know, it was neat, and I remember, like, this is where I really started kind of, like, getting on this game's wavelength. Maybe not quite right here, but, yeah, and I, heads up, miss a ton of shit, mainly the little beepers. I need to learn the actual name for that item. Because I've just been calling them the beepers, because that's what I call that thing that Kim possibly uses. I always found it annoying in the show when Ron called her KP, but now I find myself calling her that because it's just easier to abbreviate things. I'm big on abbreviations. I really liked saying Les Mis for Les Miserables until someone that I know who speaks French pointed out that, like, you're just stopping saying the word in the middle of the word, and, like, French people don't refer to it as that. And at the time, I was like, good point, sir, and now, the more I think about it, I'm like, fuck off, I don't care, I'm not French. If I were French, maybe I would give a shit about that, but I'm not, and, you know, not everyone wants to say Les Miserables every time, so, yeah, Les Mis, whatever. People know what that is. There are other abbreviations for English words that you just stop saying one of the words halfway through. That's kind of what, like, a shortened thing is. I mean, like, sci-fi, yeah, sci and fi aren't words, but they're short for words. That's why you say them, because they're shorter. Or, like, when I was taking AP English classes, everyone called them AP Lang and AP Lit for language and literature. So, yeah. I don't know if there are French equivalents. If anyone that watches my videos speaks a lot of French, are there any common abbreviations of French words where you just shorten one of the words? Or phrases, you know, whatever? I would like to learn that. I would like to learn more about language in general. I mean, learning a language, like learning a different language and becoming fluent in it, especially when you're an adult, is very hard. Don't know if I'll ever do that. But language, the subject, and like how certain languages come to be, and like the etymologies of words and linguistics and stuff, all that is very interesting to me. So I'm looking on my phone, on my notes, for things that I wrote down as potential things to talk about, and one of them was, since I don't have much to talk about the show Kim Possible, that I could just mention some other Disney Channel shows that I remember liking. I mentioned, well, Teenage Robot is Nickelodeon, but that's a good show. And the ones I have written down here are, and I'm just doing cartoons. Oh yeah, here's Big Guy. The Weekenders, very underrated show, at least when I was a kid. I haven't seen it since then, so maybe it sucks, but I'd like to rewatch it again, and I only recently found out that there is indeed a DVD box set of that show. I was under the impression that there was not. I don't know why. Several years ago, when I went on a hunt for Weekenders DVDs, I came up short. But then, when I was looking to legally purchase a copy of it on a website, I saw that it was taken from a DVD, and I was like, wait, and then I looked it up on Amazon, and sure enough, there's a fucking DVD box set of The Weekenders, so hot diggity dog. House of Mouse, another one. I'm pretty sure there's not like a complete box set of that. And I'm guessing that probably has to do with the fact that that show was basically just a collection of animated shorts, and I mean, I'm sure Disney owns the rights to all of them. Some of them were original for the show, but I don't know, maybe there's something with the distribution, whatever, for some of the older ones that, like, they can't re-release it on DVD or something, or maybe they just don't feel like people will get it. I just think there should be physical copies of everything. That you should be able to get a DVD or a Blu-ray of just anything, any movie or show that was out. 'Cause why the fuck not? I mean, someone probably wants it, and how much does it really take to make a DVD? It's easy for me to say this because I haven't done it, but that's why it's fun to say that. I love doing the big dramatic thing and then, like, not even being on the right part of the car. Anyway, now we're back to Kimtown. But yeah, I remember liking House of Mouse. I also really liked Recess. The Replacements, when it had its original art style, they changed it in, like, Season 2, and I didn't like it. They made the kids, like, tan. I don't know. And then, Emperor's New School. That's one that I can imagine probably finding annoying if I came back to it now. But I remember being fond of it. And I think it was, if I remember correctly, because it started like 6 years after Emperor's New Groove came out. And I think the impetus for it was the success of the direct-to-video sequel, Kronk's New Groove, which I also had, and which was the subject of one of the last few, maybe not the subject, but it was a major thingy in one of the last few issues of Disney Adventure magazine, if anyone remembers that, which I used to get. For a while, my mom used to work in a dentist's office, and for a while my mom would, the office would get them, and so I would get them for free. Other times they would be, you used to be able to get them in line at the grocery store, so I would buy them there. And I liked the normal magazines, but I was mostly excited about the Comic Zone issues, and if I were to do a thing that I have considered doing before in the future, I mean, this is if I have like money to spend and whatnot. Whatever indeterminate period of the future all of my fantasies take place in, where I'm able to just get things that I want. I want to, like, collect old, magazines or periodicals, both ones that I remember actually having and just ones that would be cool for the novelty of, you know, for one thing, seeing a fucking magazine, and, like, that isn't around anymore, and, like, talking about something that came out. Like, I would love to get, like, an old Nintendo Power magazine, old Game Informer stuff. I'm gonna save talking about it for Lego Star Wars, but, and I wouldn't buy them now because there'd be no point, but, the Lego catalogs used to be really nice, and I don't know if they still do it, but you used to be able to view them on the Lego website in very good detail. But again, I'll leave that for the Lego LP, but... yeah, good times. I remember getting Game Informer magazines back in Nam. I don't know if they still do those. Enemy in sight. So yeah, this one's kind of a pain in the ass because you can only hit his head, and you need to get him out of that place. But yeah, man. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah. I would do that. I was gonna say, if I were to start that kind of collection and I started collecting the Disney Adventure magazines, I would most likely just do the Comic Zone ones, because comics are cool, and I don't know, not all of the, like, a lot of it is just, like, you know, we're gonna talk about, like, a million of the copies of the covers were Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, they did so... I mean, to be fair, Pirates of the Caribbean is, like, one of the most profitable Disney franchises of movies, so that makes sense. But yeah, I really miss that stuff. I miss Disney Adventure Magazine. I miss, movie surfers. I miss real movie journalism, like the Disney Channel movie surfers. Disney 411, which later became Disney 365, which was far inferior. Mike's Super Short Show. I don't remember what his successor was, but I remember they did something stupid to replace Mike and his Super Short Show. That was also what launched Alison Stoner to stardom, gay queen. I don't know. Coming up on the end of the video, I kind of talked myself into a corner. More stuff next time.